So I definitely thought this week's episode was better than last week's, especially with that super dramatic finale. But I still think the show has a few things to work out before it's one of my absolute fave shows. So one of the things I found kind of annoying is the fact that we are really getting involved with this new class of people. I was kind of hoping that it would be mentioned in this first episode of the second half of season 1, and then we wouldn't really have to deal with them much, but it looks like we are going to have to learn who these people are. I'm still trying to figure out their names at this point, but they had a huge emphasis in this episode. And what was even more annoying to me is the statement was made that anybody pretty much who we've met on the show could be a terrorist. So now we have to include this new class and Liam and Miranda, even though some of you already had them as suspects, Liam and Miranda. But basically anybody that we've been introduced to can be a terrorist. Plus, I want to say that I don't think we're just dealing with one terrorist, because look at the crimes that this person is committing. They have to have some help. So I think there's probably going to be the reveal of multiple people. So we may be looking at people who we know there could be, a couple of them or 3 or 4 of them working together. So I get really confused on this show with the transition from the past to the present. And I know that the time spans are not that far apart anyway, but sometimes I don't think they do a very good job of letting us know when we're in present day and when we're in the past. So last week's episode, I really thought that the interaction between Shelby's fake sister and the guy who said he was her husband and Caleb, I thought that was taking place in present day, but I realized in this episode that was actually in the past. So I don't know if any of you were confused, but that really confused me. I guess I should realize that Shelby has longer hair in the past and more of a bob in the present. So I'm going to have to pay really close attention to make sure I always know what time that we're in on this show. So Alex is back working for the FBI, but she's been downgraded, and we see Ryan's ex-wife Hannah play a relatively large role in this episode. I wonder if she could also be one of our suspects. Right now it seems really hard to figure out who our terrorists could be because there's so many people to choose from, and we really don't know a lot about a lot of them, to be honest. So this terrorist is really causing a lot of trouble. I mean, the good news is that Natalie had been strapped with that bomb at the end of last week's episode, but she was set free. But of course, now both of them, Alex and Natalie, are being blackmailed. They need to get some information for this terrorist, or he or she says that Natalie will die. So we do learn that scene that took place in the past with Shelby and the fake sister, she finds out that yes, she's definitely being conned, that this person is not missing, her fake sister. But what I don't understand is that Shelby seems very shady in every single episode, and it seems like she still wants to reach out and help these people even though she knows they're con artists. So I don't know if that's just a major red herring or if we are supposed to believe that she's really working with these people. I would love to know what you think down below. So here's the deal. They have to get some information for this terrorist, Natalie and Alex. So Natalie is able to steal Ryan's key card, and Alex is able to steal Hannah's fingerprint so that they could get some information. They also call in a bomb threat so they can pull this off. And what the terrorist is asking for is a schedule of presidential candidates and where they're going to be, what they're going to be doing, which obviously you don't want a terrorist to have that type of information, but they have a plan that if they can give them the information yet stop anything from happening before it does, that it's all going to work out. No. So anyway, they're able to trace the calls that they've been getting from that terrorist, or at least that Alex has been getting, to this abandoned warehouse. So they think they all kind of have it figured out at that point, but this is all just a major setup. And well, we'll get to what happens in just a little bit, but it's really dramatic. Also, something that I never really knew happened, and maybe it did happen, they were kind of implying it, but we didn't see it, but they seem to insinuate that Alex and Liam had hooked up, maybe the first half of season 1. And I knew he had feelings for her, but I don't know if we're supposed to believe that they actually hooked up or it's just that he had feelings for her. I'm kind of thinking we're just supposed to believe that he has feelings for her. What do you think about that? Do you think that he's a suspect? Because I know some people do, and why? I would love to know that as well. So there's this new girl from the new class, this Asian girl who's trying to help Shelby, and honestly, I feel bad, but I don't know her name, so if you know her name, put that down below. Maybe I should just Google it. That would make life easier. And I don't know if she's a red herring or if she's trouble, but they made like a statement that no one really helps you just because they want to be nice. They're out looking for themselves too. So I don't know if that was kind of foreshadowing her, but obviously she's going to probably ask for help of her own pretty soon, so who knows. Then we see some people being kind of shady. We see one of the new recruits like marking people's faces out in a drawer. So it's like he's trying to narrow down who a terrorist could be, I guess. I guess that's what he's doing, not sure. And then we have the twins. One of them is meeting with this guy, and that looks shady, and I think that's in the past, but it could be in the present. I got a little bit confused there. So let's get back to our ending, which was the very best part of the show, and sort of shocking, to be honest. I kind of thought it might happen, though. But while they're in that warehouse, Alex and Natalie, there's an explosion and Natalie dies. I'm pretty sure she's dead. I'm pretty sure they're not going to pull that she made it out. Or the other twist I thought of is everyone thinks she died, but she's actually working with the terrorists, and that's kind of her cover. I don't know, but some people in our live chat said that they saw a body, so I'm not really sure. But if you're not aware, I do have a live chat every week for Quantico, and it's at 6 p.m. on Mondays. We will not be having one next week because I'm out of town, but we'll have one every week after that. Again, that information is down below. But I think even after that dramatic scene, which I will say Natalie's kind of a minor character, so it wasn't really hard to lose her, even though it is sad that she died, but it wasn't like they killed off one of the main people, which would be really shocking. But then Alex is freaking out, so she runs to Ryan's apartment, and he's basically going to have to check her into a place for someone who needs mental help because he thinks she's going crazy, which we know that she's not. But then she gets a text and realizes someone is watching her at that moment because they've taken a picture of them together. And then she freaks out and she leaves, and the terrorist calls her and she's like, you know, anything you want, I will do, because he's like, or he or she is like, I'm going to kill another friend if you don't do it. So she is in a really bad position because she's going to have to do whatever this person says. At this point in the show, my main suspect is Ryan, just because we have no reason to suspect him. Plus, he's the closest person to Alex, and usually, like, whoever's closest to you and who you're running to for help is actually the bad guy. So that's what I'm thinking at this point, but I would love to know who you're thinking could be the terrorist or terrorists, plural. So leave those thoughts down below, because definitely, even if it is Ryan, there's other people working with him. This is not just one person, so I'll be very interested to find out who they reveal, at least at the end of this season. So thumbs up if you like this episode, or if you're liking this half of the season of Quantico. And thank you so much for watching this episode of Kellie TV. I'll see you next time.